Hey everybody, Prinz here. Today I want to talk about Final Fantasy XVI. Let's just start by saying there will be spoilers ahead. I really enjoyed this game, from fresh-faced squire to battle-hardened leader, from your brother's protector to the world's protector. You start off in a world on the brink of collapse from the Blight, and war over the remaining fertile land. From there, you get to watch as the world inches towards total apocalypse. As much as I enjoyed the story, I don't think it's nearly as complicated as the developers make it seem. I mean, they put a crazy amount of effort to make sure no one can say they don't understand what's going on. With things like active time lore, the story recaps with Vivian, and the state of the realm, the only ones who can say they couldn't follow the story are the ones who aren't even trying. The characters are awesome, with my favorite being Sidolphus.
Clive, what exactly do you plan on doing when you find this dominant of fire?
What do you think? I'll show him the mercy he showed my brother, and cut out the tongue of any man who tries to talk me out of it.
All right. Forest dark enough as it is.
Gav is also great for a bit of levity.
Ugh, this place reeks like a mobile's arsehole. Though I'm guessing it's not the smell that will kill us.
Ah hell, the entire cast is great.
It should have been you! Why didn't the Phoenix choose you?
Joshua's every waking moment was spent trying to shoulder the burden that you and the Phoenix and the Duchy foisted on him. That's why I became his shield. To help bear the weight. But what did you do? You betrayed your own blood and surrendered your son to his fate!
You can tell the voice actors are really giving their all. Which isn't always the case. Just look at Peter Dinklage's performance in Destiny. Oh wait, you can't. His performance was so bland, they had to replace him with Nolan North. Side quests are your typical RPG fare. You know, go to a place, talk to a person, collect an item, or fight an enemy, then return to Quest Giver. Most of the side quests add context and world building for the NPCs you work alongside. Some side quests offer upgrades for your potions and unlock crafting recipes. What I don't like about the side quests is they're not really side quests. A majority of the XP earned in this game comes from quests, main and side quests alike, not combat. If you want to maintain a decent level without grinding for hours, you're going to be doing all of them. On my New Game Plus playthrough, I fought only what I had to, and did all of the side quests and hunts, and still ended at level 90. Now that isn't to say you can't level up from combat, it just takes significantly longer, especially when you consider enemies don't respawn even when you die. The only way to get enemies to respawn is to fast travel to an obelisk. It kind of feels like the developers thought the combat was going to get too repetitive, so they just removed most of it. I noticed Final Fantasy VII Remake had the same problem, which is sad because I really enjoyed the combat in both games. As for Final Fantasy XVI, the combat is fast, fun, and responsive. Once you get a feeling for dodging, blocking, and parrying, you become an untouchable badass. Also, with the right combination of abilities, Clive is capable of some impressive damage output, which is very helpful during New Game Plus. Switching between icons in combat is quick and easy. By the end of the game, you have 7 icons and 30 abilities to choose from. The icons provide some much-needed variety to the combat. Phoenix Shift teleports you towards the enemy, although you can still get hit while shifting, which is odd to say the least. Deadly Embrace brings the enemy to you, or launches you into the air. You can also do a special grab when an enemy is stunned, much like Nero in Devil May Cry. I do prefer Nero's version, though.
Back it up!
Titanic Block allows you to, block. It also allows you to counter if you time your block correctly. Blind Judgment lets you shoot lightning bolts at enemies you have locked onto a la Kingdom Hearts. Wings of Light slowly fills a magic gauge that charges Mega Flare. You can fill the gauge more quickly by dodging attacks at the last second. The wings kind of make visibility an issue. Cold Snap lets you glide short distances and freeze enemies. If you dodge at the last second, you get a more powerful freeze attack. With Arm of Darkness, you wield Odin's Blade to fill a gauge so you can unleash Zantetsuken.
Farewell!
So what of the 30 abilities? They're all just some variation of attack. You know, dodge, then attack. Block, then attack. or just attack. You don't get any buffs, debuffs, or even a cure spell. I guess that's not true. You do get Will of the Wikes, which absorbs some damage, and Flames of Rebirth, which attacks and refills your health in the same stupid way that Torgal's healing spell does, which is to refill only the light green bar and nothing more, which doesn't even matter because the hardest challenges in the game won't even let you pick your abilities. Remember when the greatest challenges in a Final Fantasy game required preparation and strategy, not just quick reflexes? In fact, it seems like they eliminated all RPG elements, with the exception of being able to change equipment and level up. This is a game centered around collecting elemental icons without any elemental damage. I mean, you can fight bombs with fire or ice, it makes no difference whatsoever. Also, I never thought I would complain about getting hit with a bad breath attack and having nothing more happen than a little damage and my character falling down, but here we are. Marlboros used to be pants-wettingly terrifying. The Morbles in this game are just another enemy. One of the most annoying enemies you are going to face is not an enemy combatant, but the camera. It likes to zoom in at inopportune moments, making it hard to tell what's going on. The particle effects during your limit break also make it rather hard to see. Now I get that they are going for a more action-focused approach this time, which is fine. However, I feel they fell kinda short on that one too. You only get one character, one weapon, and one combo for the entire game. Now I know you get to play as Joshua a few times, for about 5 seconds apiece, but that doesn't really count. I don't think square, 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 triangle is enough to carry you through an 80-hour game. You do have other attacks that can string together however you like. Moves like streak, split, snatch, charge shot, enemy step, and devil trigger. Lunge, down thrust, deadly embrace, charge magic, stomp, and limit break. Yeah, that's it. It's just that only being able to equip 3 icons and 2 abilities apiece seems a little limited. I also find it odd that the only magic that changes from icon to icon is your shot magic, not your charge magic and not your limit break. I mean, if they had made it so all your magic and limit breaks match the currently equipped icon, it would have shown Clive's dominance over all of the icons and not just a Frit. I also wish that you could change your icons and abilities during combat. It would have encouraged experimentation and allowed you to find movesets that match your playstyle easier. I'm glad that the cutscenes that introduce a hunt when you approach them only play once. If you fail and try again, it's just straight to the fight. Wish more games would figure that one out. In fact, you can skip most cutscenes and dialogue, with the exception of the scenes during battles, which really isn't that big of a deal until you get to the part where Barnabas yammers on for like 15 minutes. That's only a problem if you go directly into a New Game Plus after finishing your first playthrough like I did. Speaking of New Game Plus, it really doesn't add that much. It's just your typical New Game Plus, with stronger enemies and different enemy combinations, and stronger weapons and gear to craft, which are really just the same weapons and gear reforged at a higher level, except for Ultimate Weapon. It also raises the level cap from 50 to 100, so it's like starting at level 1 with all your abilities unlocked. That's about it. Oh, it also removes the button prompts from the Are You Awake time events during the super cinematic battles. All in all, I think it's a really good game. It's a beautiful game with amazing music. Surprise, surprise, a Final Fantasy game with good music? That never happens. I didn't really come across any glitches. The closest thing was a temporary freakout when I tried to climb a ladder. Also, when you're fighting enemies in the Velcroy Desert, they have an annoying tendency to just turn around and return to Zero Station with full health. I know this isn't a bug, but rather programmed that way intentionally so you can flee a battle. I just wish the game would give you some indication of how far you can go before the game considers you fleeing. Kinda like the red one that keeps you in the area of mandatory fights, or better yet, how about the green berry that surrounds a hunt? If you're going to limit how far an enemy will chase you, indicate where that freaking limit is. Anyway, enough for me. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you think me a moron? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I hope to see you in the next one.